Hello there, Mad Mike here, and welcome back to the channel. So today we had some news that's come out, and it's been making the rounds on a lot of large websites, New York Post, New York Times, bunch of places, TMZ, a lot of entertainment websites and news periodicals. And that is that actress Lashana Lynch, who most people would probably remember as playing Monica Rambeau opposite uh, Brie Larson in the Captain Marvel films, or film, I should say. So the report is that she is going to be the headlines are very misleading. The plot is that she is going to be the new 007. I've read the article. I've read several articles. Now, this is, keep in mind, this is a rumor that the media might just be running with. This movie is a long way from. This movie's a ways, a little ways from coming out. I believe Bond 25 comes out next year, if I remember correctly. So the problem here is that what they're running with is, oh, she's going to be the new James Bond. Uh, and you run into the same problem you had when they were saying, oh, Idris Elba is going to be the new James Bond. So the media is running with this, but they're slanting it in a way that is Bond comes back out of retirement, who again is played by Daniel Craig, and his number has been given to a new agent. Now I find that kind of strange in general, just because you couldn't just pick another number. I mean, there can't be 999 specific MI6 agents that are numbered. And, you have other ones like M who have letters and stuff like that. I think that they did it more as a symbolic thing, because they wanted to do that to virtue signal. But regardless, he comes back in, and then she is now his partner, because she is the new person who has his secret agent number. Uh, so that's what the article, that's what the headline means. It says new 007. They literally just gave her the number, and that's it. She's not actually going to be playing James Bond or Jasmine Bond or whoever they want, or if they want to change the name or something like that. But they do also go on in most of the articles saying, like, oh, she laughs off his attempts to woo her and sleep with her and stuff like that. It's like, and they use all the usual terminology of strong woman rolls her eyes at him, yada yada yada. So you want to know something? That Ava Green in Casino Royale did a very good job at portraying a very strong, very competent female character, and she still had a rivalry with Bond, but she didn't treat him like a child. She didn't roll her eyes at him. She wasn't necessarily your standard femme fatale or anything like that. I felt that she did a very good job, and she stood out in that film. Now you fast forward and you go to this, and it seems like they're doing a thing where they're going to try and have her kind of upstage James Bond. I feel like this is going to be one of those situations where they're trying to make it seem like James Bond is kind of old news. Now, do I think they're going to pass the torch uh, to Lashana Lynch? I don't, because I think that would be a terrible, horrible idea. And since I believe the James Bond films are put out by MGM, who does not put out a shit ton of movies, I don't think they want to kneecap their star franchise. But here's the thing. And this goes back to an argument I've made time and time and time again about demographics. If you were to do that, if you were to say, okay, this is Daniel Craig's last movie, he's retiring, he's going off, and he's not going to be James Bond anymore. We're going to do this movie now, because most of the titles don't have James Bond in the title. They just have whatever the name of the film happens to be, and then it stars whoever the actor is as James Bond. Um, they'll just change her. I believe her name in the film is Naomi. They just change the 007 to Naomi, whatever her name is, instead of James Bond. That would be a terrible idea from a financial perspective, because your core demographic is men for that franchise. It is men, undoubtedly. And with that, you're going to change your protagonist to a black female and have her take over a place that has been held by her male counterpart since the 60s. So you have a very serious problem there where you are going to unbelievably tank your franchise. Now keep in mind, James Bond is a franchise that has been around, again, I say since the early 60s. I believe Dr. No was 1962. So you have a franchise that has been around for over 50 years, almost 60 at this point. I think it'll be 58 when uh, Bond 25 comes out. And you're going to take away the core of that franchise, which is the character of James Bond, instead of reimagining him, instead of casting another actor, instead of trying to continue the lineage, you're going to instead gut it basically and say, hey, we're going to aim at a new demographic, and we don't care if you don't like it. If you don't like it, you're a sexist. They tried this with Ghostbusters. It failed miserably. They tried this with Ocean's 8. It failed miserably. They've tried this with numerous other franchises over the last probably 5 to 6 years, if not more. It has failed miserably. This will, if they decide to go that route, fail miserably, and this is a PR nightmare of why they would choose to go with this story choice. Now, this might also be the reason why. Actually, I don't think it's the reason why, but Danny Boyle, I believe, was originally tacked on to direct Bond 25, and he wound up leaving the production and during the creative processes and pre-production before they got their current director, who I don't know why his name is not coming to me right now, but before they got the current director. And now you had casting of like Rami Malek, who's going to be in this as the villain. Anna de Armas is going to be in this. There's a lot of characters that are going to be in this movie. Now, I don't know how much we're going to see of Lashana. I don't know how much we're going to see of her, Lashana Lynch, in the film. It could be something minimal. It could be a minimal part. This is a very, very chock full cast, basically. And I'm also not sure where she's going to come in the film, if they're going to just mention her early on and then we see her later or something like that. But it sounds like this is the announcement of this, since you do see that this is kind of, you don't really see her at all with the credits of the film. She's very low down on the list in terms of the people that are cast in this, as opposed to Anna de Armas and Leah Seydoux and Daniel Craig and Rami Malek and Christoph Waltz and Ralph Fiennes. She's way, way down below all those characters. So this could be just a thing that's in it. It might not. It might be a scene or two. It might legitimately be a scene or two, and they just do this stuff and they say, okay, well, we're going to give you your own number. We're giving 007 his number back. That could literally be it. And maybe she just wanted to be in it because it was a Bond film and she was signed on before Captain Marvel even went into production, since this movie was a little bit shaky early on because of because of Danny Boyle leaving and because of a lot of other stuff. So I am concerned a bit about this, but I am not outraged or extremely concerned, because this doesn't seem like they're passing the torch on to Lashana Lynch and having her play James Bond. Again, it would be a terrible choice. I think this is more of just a PR thing. It seems like this wasn't even a statement. This was something that was put out by entertainment tabloids, and they're pushing this and pushing this and pushing this because this is what the entertainment media does, because they're very far left leaning. They like to push anything that helps the agenda. They push it, and this is what we see again in this scenario. So those are my thoughts on the situation. I'd like to know yours. What do you think about it? Put your thoughts in the comments. I'd like to know what you're thinking. Hit the bell for notifications, hit the like button, subscribe, and remember, I live my life free of compromise. Do you?